Welcome back to Superhero Roundup Live here on SourceFedNERD, the show where we talk about all the most popular superhero TV shows on the air with a bunch of pals just sitting around talking about their favorite superheroes. I'm your host today, Sam Basher, and my guest, as always, is DJ. DJ, raise a glass. Give me a little clink. Thank you.
That was a very
quiet. It was very subdued. Guys, on this show, we're going to talk about all your favorite TV shows, superheroes, whatnot. You guys can send us your questions using the hashtag Superhero Roundup to Twitter, and I'll read them throughout the show. If you have never watched the show before, we do it once a week on Fridays, 2:30 Pacific Standard Time. And it also goes up on iTunes and SoundCloud. You can just search Superhero Roundup Live. Make sure you subscribe, follow us there, rate and review, do all that kind of fun stuff. When we start this show, we usually kick it off with some news, but first, I would like to do a quick thank you, shout out to DC Comics because it's the 30th anniversary of the Dark Knight series, Frank Miller series. So they sent us a little bust of the old grizzled Dark Knight. This is the one we're probably going to see in Batman v Superman. Also, hold on.
He's getting it.
I'm getting it. They sent us all of the comics. These are from Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, the one that's out right now, the first two issues. Dark Knight Strikes Again. And Dark Knight Returns, and a little notebook, which was really sweet of them. So thank you, DC. That was really cool. You want to see?
I want to see.
He's going to read them during the show. He'll read them out loud. All right, to kick it off with some news. DJ, you got some news?
I do have some news.
Got some news?
The Dark Knight Returns.
He's real excited. He was really excited.
I was really
about
excited
the Dark Knight.
when we got him in there. First up, we finally have Iron Fist.
That was really cool. Yesterday they announced that little boy was cast as Danny
Jones,
Rand.
he looks so young, right? How old? Do we know how old he is?
No, I don't. He could. I bet. I say 25.
Yeah, he
25.
was the
Game of
lover
Thrones.
of the younger brother, Baratheon brother, the youngest Baratheon brother.
Oh, was he good?
Yeah, he was good in that role. Yeah, I liked him. I thought he was cool. I don't know if I see him as Iron Fist. A little bit of pushback because they cast a white actor, and some people were hoping that, hey, maybe we could rectify some of the mistakes of the past. And since Iron Fist is very based in Eastern mythology, maybe make him Chinese.
True. That would have been actually. I would have actually appreciated that if Marvel took that step. But again, the character he's American, he's Caucasian, and so that's. It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's not the worst thing, but it would have been kind of, especially since I think the first prominent Asian character we're going to get in the MCU is Doctor Strange's sidekick.
And it's Wong, and he's kind of a stereotype, so it's not...
It's not exactly, although he's being played by the guy from The Martian, who's really great.
He's good?
Yeah. So...
That would... Yeah. But are you excited? Cool. Are you excited for him?
For him, I don't know. I literally have zero... I have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we're going to get the full Danny Rand origin story? Iron Fist, everything. We get the dragon, we get Kunalun going to another dimension, everything.
I hope so. I hope, more important than all of that, I hope that they did chemistry testing with him and Mike Coulter, who plays Luke Cage, because I need them to be BFFs.
Because you want your heroes for hire. If you guys don't know, they do have a new comic out right now, right?
Yeah, it came out last week.
The art, I saw the art. I haven't read it yet, but it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm super stoked on it.
Guys, send us your thoughts on all that on Twitter using the hashtag Superhero Roundup. I'm excited personally.
I'm wondering if they're going to play like a little brother angle with him, since he looks so much younger, to Luke Cage. Like they're kind of like that's the dynamic.
Is he supposed to be funny? Danny Rand is he funny? Yeah. About right.
Yeah. I don't know. But you're excited for it.
I'm excited for him.
I'm excited to see what they do. It is interesting because the next piece of news is Daredevil Season 2. In that trailer, we see a lot of ninjas and Japanese fighting and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see how Iron Fist differentiates itself with a more Chinese influence.
True.
Yeah.
I would like that. But in the Season 2 Part 2 trailer, why you split it up to two-parter trailers didn't really make sense for Daredevil.
I'm actually wondering if that's how the season's going to split up, where the first 6 episodes are primarily Punisher and the last 6 episodes are primarily Elektra in the Hand, because they said Elektra shows up later in the season.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would make more sense.
Yeah.
That is also really weird to do in the middle of a 13-episode season.
To have it like completely split into like 2 parts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it was like a 22-episode thing, the first 13 could be Punisher, and then like the next 13 could be Elektra.
I don't think Punisher v Daredevil can support more than a handful of episodes.
True. Like you could like,
because it's not like Punisher has
2.
like henchmen that Daredevil needs to work his way through. It's just Punisher.
Yeah. Maybe he's just hard to hunt down, and he beats Daredevil like twice, and then they kind of come to a standstill.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But this trailer actually got me a lot more excited for the season, because one of the problems of season 1 is it kind of petered out. by episode 6. And so I was worried, like, is it really just going to be Punisher this whole time? But we got the Hand. We got ninjas scaling up the side of walls. We got Elektra, who looks amazing.
She looks really cool. I like her costume. You were kind of nervous about her costume at the first
It looks
part.
a little basic, but then again, I had the same exact feeling for Daredevil's black costume, and that ended up being really cool because he could move in it.
Yeah.
Which now, the counterpoint, now he's in a more closer to comic canon costume, and it just looks bulky and like unwieldy, although in the trailers it looks really cool.
It looks updated. I don't remember the red eyes in the previous season.
Yeah, there's that one shot where you see the light through the eyes and it looks really cool.
Oh, yeah. I like that touch because that's what I actually liked about Ben Affleck's one, even though that's just like a leather latex kind of thing. That's like, that is the comic book costume, but it was still like...
The costume was probably the best part of that.
True. And Evanescence.
Yeah, of course, the Evanescence song, which I keep waiting for them to bring back to the series. If you look at the trailer, it does look like Elektra's going to get an updated costume that is not necessarily, it's more armory, which again, it's like, are we going to have another thing where they're all mobile and look cool, and then they get this weird bulky armor thing?
I would love if Jessica Jones got her own armor. And then like
everybody
Luke
just gets
Cage.
armor. Everybody gets armor. What was the other thing?
I'll just say, we did a whole thing on the part 2 trailer on SourceFedNERD yesterday. I broke it down and talked about all my favorite parts, but I think I'm most excited to see their relationship, Elektra and Matt, and that'll be really cool. But also, I want to see what Foggy and Matt do, because I kind of don't want Foggy to be like, just like, oh yeah, he's over here and he disapproves of what he's doing. Yeah. I want to see the conflict, because they tried to do that in that one episode where Foggy confronted him about everything, but it felt like filler. It was filler.
Yeah.
So I would like them to actually like make it move the story forward instead of just be a space filler.
And also, people that are like, oh, I don't want you to be a superhero, are kind of a drag, because we know they're not going to. The show's called Daredevil. Matt Murdock's going to be like, okay, I'll just be a lawyer, and that's going to be the rest of the show. You know what I mean? So hopefully Foggy gets on board, because that's going to be exhausting.
Also, I would like maybe a little bit more lawyer things, because they ditched that real quick.
What was it, episode 3 or 4, where he's defending that one guy. The lawyer stuff was really cool. So I'd like to see more of that. I'm genuinely, like, watching trailers, like, I'm really excited for this. We get Punisher, we're getting ninjas, we're getting like it.
The Hand is so cool.
It should be a lot of fun. What do you think about? We see a little hint of the chain sword thing that Nobu used, and then one guy that's like, "I'm going to reveal you my face." Is it Nobu come back?
Maybe. He was the founder of the Hand, or a variation of the name Nobu is the founder of the Hand in the comics, and so that would be kind of fun to have him back. Stick's going to be back. Maybe we'll learn more about that weird superpowered child thing that Stick
whatever
killed.
Was going on.
Remember when Stick killed? Maybe he
killed it off camera. Yeah, remember? That was weird. Apparently Stick's going to be around for more than one episode this time, which is exciting, because I felt like, especially once the Kingpin stuff was kind of wrapping up, like do something with the Hand. You could do more with that. I'm hoping Wilson Fisk shows back up as kind of like a surprise, like at the end of the season, like maybe like he's got off on a technicality or something. Punisher's like, I'm going to kill him now, and Daredevil's conflicted. Like, I don't like Kingpin, but I don't want Punisher to kill him. I don't know. I
like it. I'm excited for that. That's March 18th, and we're going to do another one of those live streams that we've done for the first season of Daredevil and for the first season of Jessica Jones.
Yes.
Jessica Jones was way more fun than Daredevil because it got rough. But hopefully, season 2 will be a lot of fun.
Well, it should be more consistent because it's got the same showrunners throughout. It's not like this guy for this amount and then a new guy. So hopefully.
And side note, Stephen S. DeKnight, the guy who picked up for Drew Goddard for Daredevil season 1, is doing Pacific Rim 2. He's directing it. So I was like,
I'm actually excited for that, because I didn't care for Pacific Rim, and also there was rumors that Stephen S. DeKnight would be doing The Defenders.
Oh,
and so I'm like, oh, good, he's on the Pacific.
Well, he's got his hands in a lot of things. I
want. Kevin Tantron, the guy that I wanted for Iron Fist, now that he's not being the showrunner for Iron Fist, I hope they tap him for The Defenders.
Please,
he'd be so good. His action scenes are so good. So yeah, season 2 looking great. We got some new images for Captain America: Civil War.
Yes, they look real cool.
Look really cool. We found out who.
Martin Freeman.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
from The Office.
I was going to say Ross Everett. He worked here. Everett Ross. Everett Ross.
Yeah. From Black Panther.
Yeah, from Black Panther. And I guess he's probably going to be some kind of delegate for Wakanda.
The one picture we see of him, he looks real smarmy.
Yeah.
He looks like he's not on the side of Cap. But which, if you saw Fargo, he can play a villain real good.
Yeah?
I
still haven't watched that.
Skeevy villain. He does a good job with that. And Scarlet Witch. I almost said Wicked Witch.
We have the Wicked Witch. We got Ross Everett.
Crossbones. So
I'm excited. The more I see of it, the more excited I get, and I just want one. Like, remember how Vision was teased in the trailers? Where you just eyes open. It's like, okay, Vision's going to be in it. Do you think they're going to get that with Spider-Man? Because I've heard that Sony and Marvel have like this weird arrangement when it comes to advertising Spider-Man for Civil War. Yeah. That's why he hasn't shown up.
They might not finish the design of Spider-Man until right before the movie ends. Yeah. Finally, Sony and Marvel are able to agree on something, and here,
just fucking just do it. Go now.
I wonder, because they were talking about how it's just a lot of CGI based. I wonder if it was just a guy with the green suit, and they're just going to CGI the costume. And once they've decided what it looks like, it's not just one element of the costume, the entire costume,
the whole thing,
the whole thing, because they don't know yet. Also, the guy that plays the Falcon, Anthony Mackie, let slip. He was like, it's a godlike great character moments from Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and the guy that plays the Hulk,
Mark Ruffalo.
Like, it's a lot of good, and everybody's freaking out that maybe the Hulk's going to be in it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was probably not a great secret to keep, because it's like you kind of need a Hulk.
Yeah. I don't think so. Hulk wasn't in the original Civil War.
No, he wasn't. Neither were a lot of these people.
I'd actually kind of like to see, if they were going to do Hulk, I'd like to see Red Hulk as kind of what they unite to stop, because of how much Ross plays a part in.
That'd be, if the Hulk showed up, it'd be very fun to have a Red Hulk.
Like, I would have Red Hulk and not Green Hulk.
What if he had both?
Because isn't Green Hulk supposed to be in space or something?
He's
sulking. Do you think that's how they're going to explain how he ends up in space? Because I don't think that Quinjet could go into space.
No, just so you know, guys, jets don't work that way. He does, and also like the Hulk in the comics can like, I've read that he can like survive in space, but it's like he holds his breath.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
the same
why
thing
he
with
lives.
Superman. Like some, depending on the writer, he can survive in space, but why?
Why? Yeah, I mean, if he's flying, so it doesn't really. Anyways, that's a whole nother. Let's talk
about how Hulk
thing.
survives in space.
Yeah.
In other news, we got casting for Powerless, and they're really stacking the show. We've got Vanessa Hudgens, who is off of a great run on Grease. She was very praised in the live Grease. Alan Tudyk from Firefly. And Danny Pudi from Community. And Community was amazing, and he was great in it. And he also was in Captain America Winter Soldier.
He was a little
brief cameo
because of the Russos. Yeah, because he did 2 of like the best Community episodes, the water balloon fight, or something like that. Water balloon fight, water gun fight.
They actually didn't do the paintball fight, but they were producers on that show for a while. And did a couple of the key episodes.
That's really cool. Powerless, you guys, is the DC office style show where it's the insurance agency in the DC comic universe, and like apparently they have access to like everybody, like all like superheroes will be like mentioned in some way in the show, and it's about like what it means to be a normal person in a world with superheroes and what that'd feel like.
I thought that would be really cool for something to touch on that in the MCU, where like just a day, like you just drop in with this guy, like one day he's getting a hot dog and he looks over and he's able to see across the water the whole invasion in New York, and then like years later he's going to his apartment and there's ninjas scaling up the wall and he's just, I'm done. I'm just done.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm fed up. No, because they are working on Damage Control. And which will be weird to have 2 office style shows, one Marvel, one DC.
I was very ambivalent towards Powerless. Like, I like the idea, but we have a lot of these shows now. And so I was like, but like with this cast, it's like, fuck, I'm going to check it out. Like, I know I am. Do you think it's going to take place in a specific universe, like the shows or the movies?
No, I think they're going to just kind of be in they're in their own little world, because that way they can just do everything. They don't need to mention a movie. They don't need to mention anybody.
But wouldn't it be cool if one of them popped up on like Arrow?
I mean, yeah,
or
of course.
Supergirl or something.
I mean, if they dealt with like the multiverse, because that happens in comics all the time, you could have like Grant Gustin pop up or Stephen Amell pop up in the show. I'm going to take a quick swig of this, please.
He's going to take a quick swig. So that's coming out. Do we know when that's coming out?
Which one was that? Powerless? No, they're shooting the pilot right now. So, and it will probably be. Ooh, wow! I stuttered a lot right there. It will probably be picked up. So we can expect it out maybe next year, next fall,
sometime,
something like that.
Can we talk real briefly before we get into our shows?
Yes.
How do you feel about, they announced this week that there will be a DVD release of Batman v Superman that is rated R. How do you feel about that? By the way, you guys did a story on it.
We did.
So you guys should check that out.
You should. We talked about like Tuesday or something. I got an example of it from the Hobbit R-rated release they did, and that didn't make any sense why there was blood in it. Like, it doesn't. So why it's R-rated.
With that, it was just added blood?
It was like added blood and like limbs flying in the air. It was just like, why?
Because at least with the Wolverine, there was a whole sequence that was cut out because it was too violent. And some of the fight sequences were a little too choppy because they were cutting around the violence. So when you got the R-rated one, you're like, oh, this is a smoother movie. Yeah.
And an R-rated Wolverine 3 they're going to do. That sounds cool.
Yeah, and again, it's something I was feeling weird about because at the end of the day, we're talking about a bunch of people in spandex punching the shit out of each other. Like, that's not...
You don't
It's not
need to see
adult.
their
Like,
organs
it's not
fly
mature.
out.
Like,
Yeah.
Deadpool was a fun movie, not necessarily for kids, but it was definitely not a mature movie, thematically or in any sense of the word. But with something like Wolverine, we've had essentially what amounts to about 6 Wolverine movies now.
Yeah.
So shake it up, make it R. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think part of my initial being bothered by it is this is the first time Batman and Superman are on screen together, and you've made the movie dark enough that you could conceivably make an R-rated
Well, you
version
need
of
like
it.
a flashlight in the movie theater to see it. It's pretty dark.
No, but like,
Yeah.
and so it's like, at the end of the day, a good movie is a good movie.
Yeah.
And if it's a good movie, it doesn't really matter. I'm just worried. I think Batman and Superman of any heroes are at their best when they can inspire young people. When like if you look at the DC animated shows, those could deal with really mature themes and also have robot sharks in another episode. They really captured. They were for all ages, but they really captured the breadth of the universe, and that's kind of. I don't know.
It's what you want from the movies. That's you want that magic that like made those characters special for you.
Yeah.
To happen on the big screen, which you still can get. You still can get that.
Yeah, I also think it just bothers me, this idea that we try to make, like, I'm into the, how do I phrase
DJ's
this?
frustrated.
That's enough.
DJ's
I don't know how to phrase
frustrated.
we as a nation, we're more and more invested in very childish things, and we want to make them mature. I don't know, just be into mature things. Like I love this stuff, and I think you can do deep thematic things with it. And I guess that's the thing for me. Violence and sex and language do not equal maturity to me. Thoughts and ideas and concepts. So if you're going to make it mature, make it like the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight deals with surveillance states and terrorism and deeper ideas, and you can still technically take a young person to it. Not like a 5-year-old, but like a 13-year-old.
They are dealing with like fun ideas, like about what would the world be like if a god like Superman showed up.
Yeah.
That's a fun idea, but does that mean you need to show like Superman ripping Doomsday in half or something? Like, you don't need to.
Like
what if blood flew out of Zod's like neck, like when he snapped his neck? Like his eyes flew out of his head. You're like, what?
Why is this happening?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think with like a Suicide Squad, that could get an R rating.
Yeah.
Fine. Those characters earn that.
Violent. There's a cannibal on those
specifically with
on the
like
roster.
Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. I think with those things it'd be great. And this is something Marvel hasn't even tapped to, that sense of wonder, that sense of like anything's possible. You can discover new things. Like The Incredibles had that good sense of like, oh wow. Like when you're watching a movie, you're like, oh wow.
I love that movie.
TV wise, like something like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like every episode was like, oh cool. Like it just felt like endless possibilities. And this, I don't know. Again, if it's good, it's good. It doesn't matter. But I'm worried. I'm getting more and more concerned as we get closer to it.
Guys, let us know your thoughts on the R rating. I think it could be fun. I still don't buy DVDs, so it's not going to really matter to me unless they put that on iTunes, you know what I'm saying? All right, hopping in to our shows.
Boom.
First off, we got 2 episodes of Agent Carter because they
Whether
are
you like it or not.
rushing to get that on the air before Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is rushed back on. So our first episode was The Edge of Mystery.
Boom.
This was we got black holes, we got gamma guns, we got anything you'd ever need. We had a Betraying Wilkes.
Yeah, which was really
weird, but cool. I mean, like, again, idea that was cool, and then they ran out the door with it, literally, because like he could now control his density. So he ran through the wall and left the shotgun behind for some reason, then ran to the car. He's worn the same clothes for a while, hasn't he?
Well, he's not technically tangible, I don't think.
Yeah, but
so
like,
maybe it doesn't matter.
Is he still shedding
Can
skin?
he get dirty?
Yeah, like he is still like.
I like how specific you went there. Is he still shedding skin?
Yeah,
That's
he's
what
shedding
happens
skin.
over time.
Yeah, right. Like he's still like like needs to get that dirt out of there.
Did they ever need to like respray him, like re-up the spray? Like
They never
did he
showed
shut
that.
off the spray?
There's some questions for the show. This episode, I preferred,
Does he poop into the black hole?
You never know.
You never know.
You know, when he fades out of existence, it's like 1 second. And then he comes back. He's like, oh, there you go. The second episode, which we'll get to in a second to talk about, I preferred more.
Yeah, same
This
here.
one was cool ideas, but you're like, it didn't like. You were talking about it. It didn't mean anything. Like, we saw a black hole and a guy get sucked into it and then come out of it with some kind of monster in him or something. I don't know.
I think we don't care about Wilkes, and we don't care about like.
Why don't we?
I don't know. Maybe because he's trapped. He's less defined by himself as a character and more defined by being a part of a love triangle for Agent Carter.
And by like having something happen to him. He just like he went through a traumatic sci-fi accident, and now
I just
he's
don't
a
think
superhero.
we were in the office the other day. We were talking about Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and how with that movie they tried to like, well, Indiana Jones is set in the 50s. We should make it like a 50s sci-fi B movie, which would be cool, except that does not how Indiana Jones functions as a character. Like that's not his happy spot. And I feel like it's the same with Peggy Carter. Like we're going to take her and put her in this 50s B movie, which sounds really cool, but it doesn't bring out the best in the character. Maybe? Because I still fall on the side of like spy or sci-fi, that conversation we were having last week.
And that's the conversation. You always bring that up when we talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That was actually a mod. Spy or actually with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah, I do. But when they are more of a spy show, I prefer it then too, which they were doing really great work at the beginning of the season in that realm, and I thought it worked for them.
True. And hopefully it works when they come back, because, oh, God, we have Grant coming back to
with
life.
Hive. They said in one of their panels that he's officially Hive.
Is that good?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think we're doing a lot of compelling stuff with Ward, and I feel like that's
a step in a weird direction.
Gone. It's all gone for this slug. It's an alien slug.
It is. Go ahead and send me your questions and comments on Agent Carter so I can read them on the show. This first episode was okay overall. No real reason why Whitney left them both alive. There's nothing.
Just because that's she said that's who Wilkes cares about, even though he held a shotgun on them.
Yeah.
Just a few minutes earlier. I don't know.
God, Samberly needs to get shot in the goddamn face. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's on the actor or on the writer, maybe both.
Yeah.
He's awful.
Kim Marino, however, is great.
He is. Oh,
I like him a lot.
With his mom?
Everything.
Or his grandma?
Yeah. Mom tries to stab Sousa. Fucking mom. In acting overall, I feel is amazing. I feel like that's the best part of this show, because Whitney Frost is great. Peggy, of course,
Whitney
is amazing. Jarvis is doing great stuff. Even though I feel like the choice Jarvis would make is like, oh no, my wife got shot because of my adventures with Peggy. I'm gonna stop. I feel like the next step for Jarvis that we know is like, I'm gonna stop doing this. No, he's like, screw it all. I'm gonna risk my life and risk my wife being alone forever so I can get revenge. And I don't know, is it because I'm from a different generation that like your wife will never have kids? She's alive and can walk. Like I thought you were going to say she couldn't walk. Great. I mean, we can adopt. Why am I freaking out about not having kids?
It is a different. It's a different generation. Yeah. This movie's a different generation. So like I don't know what they want, and like that's a really important thing to a lot of people. I don't know. It was like weird. I wouldn't go to sacrificing my life if you took that away. Even if you killed her, then get revenge.
You have nothing else to live for. But like, she's healthy and can walk, and we can adopt. But the worst thing in the world I could do to her is have myself die too. He even writes a will
and gives it to what's her face. Sorry, I don't remember her name. Even though she's okay. Like she's an okay character.
Yeah.
She's fun. You know,
but she's better than Samberly.
Oh God, that's what I was gonna say. Samberly, just like, what the fuck is your snarky attitude for? He's like, you guys don't know who I am. I swear to God, I'll kill you. Peggy will kill you in 2 seconds.
I legitimately thought he was going to die at the end of the next this episode.
Sucked in the black hole. Just go ahead and what's that hammer toss? Like you grab like their arms and just swing them around, throw them into the black hole. Well, we can't shut it down. I got a gamma grenade. Bye, Samberly. Toss them in there.
Do you think
would have given a shit?
Do you think the gamma cannon has any, other than it being gamma, has anything to do with the Hulk?
I would love it to be.
So like it's connected to his research somehow.
A gamma bomb.
Like the end of there's a flash forward at the end of the season with Mark Ruffalo like looking through notes and he sees the like gamma bomb and it's like and that's how he becomes the Hulk.
That'd be great. I would love that. But moving on to the second episode, which is titled A Little Song and Dance, which did open with a musical number, which was fun.
It was fun, but once you find out, I didn't like it because it goes back to like. So Peggy just followed her best friend out into the desert to keep him from murdering somebody while there's a black hole above them that they shot a gamma bomb into to stop while they're hunting down a mad woman that can suck people in with the black hole in her body. And she has a fantasy about, which guy should I choose?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Even Peggy doesn't care about what's going on in the show.
Not one bit. No, she does not.
That bothered me. It was a fun sequence, but like that's what's on her mind right now?
About that sequence, I got a tweet from Irina. You can see it on the screen. She at Cienera, dancing and singing Sousa is perfection. I need more.
That was cool. And Lindsay
he's handsome.
Fretzka comes back from season 1. She was cool.
She is pretty.
She's very
There's a
pretty.
lot of pretty people in the 40s in
Yeah,
LA and
Who
on
knew?
the show. Who knew?
Who knew
What
back
were
in
they
LA?
taking back there? Is that
I
the
don't know.
cocaine where they
Yeah.
thought that was medicine?
Yeah.
Like, ooh, just great for the skin.
A lot
Don't
of
do
cigarettes,
cocaine.
a lot of cigarettes and cocaine.
There you go. What did you think about the Jarvis-Peggy confrontation in the desert? I liked it.
I liked it
They
too.
brought up a lot of good points. It's like she was like, can correct me because I did watch this a couple days ago. But like that, as soon as things became too real, he just went fucking crazy. And he's like, and she's like, you get to go home. You get to go to another man's mansion. You get to be with your wife and listen to your radio and and it's over.
Yeah.
You are removed. This is my life.
Yeah.
And you get to just vacation in it. And it was awesome points. And they both had like good reasons for feeling the way that they felt.
Those two are the heart of the show, and anytime they're interacting, it is amazing. Like anytime it's focused on them, great.
Yeah. And throw Howard in there. He's great too, but it's them.
But he's rare. Yeah. He's always been less of a feature, but he's a good part of it. Like seriously, if Howard was in the role of Wilkes, I'd be much more invested.
Right? You would be. He's probably over doing Preacher or whatnot.
Yeah.
He's a busy man.
And Warcraft, I don't know. They probably were filming this around the same. They filmed that like 2 years ago or something. Right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's been sitting for a while. And what else happened in this episode? Oh, we had the double cross of double crosses of double crosses happening all over the place.
Yeah, this was a good episode for Jack. Jack did some really pragmatic things. Both episodes, he decided to be on the side of the good guys for once. And he decided to like, screw it all, I'm just going to blow him up.
Yeah.
Which was great. And
he
then
made a
Peggy's
boss
like,
decision.
no, even though Wilkes wants to die, I want to keep him safe. Like, why? When a guy repeatedly tells you, like, I'm cool with this, let it be.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Like, he's just like racked with guilt and like making all these bad decisions. Just let him go. Just let him go. And just move on. Sousa's nice. Sousa's a nice guy.
Yeah,
you can go with
Sousa's a
Sousa.
win.
Yeah, or you don't need anybody because we already know that's how it happens. Right? Like, that's how we know in the future she doesn't get married,
No,
right?
yeah, she was married and those kids.
I think it wasn't like established though in the movies. I mean,
Yeah, Cap, when he goes visits her as an old woman in Winter Soldier, he talks about her family and kids.
my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
So she hooks up with somebody.
Somebody, whoever the hell it is. They didn't show it though for good reasons.
Yeah, I guess I'm on Team Sousa. Again, I'm on Team it all being a ruse and her being an old woman makeup, and then she goes off and has adventures in the modern day DCU.
Yeah,
that's
be a
what
lot
I
of fun.
want.
At the ending, I like how they ended it with like you got 3 bad guys in a room. Wilkes is a bad guy at this point.
I hope they don't become a giant like black squid monster thing. I don't want it.
I know you don't,
want it.
but like, what if
the nerd in me wants her to put on a mask?
like, what if that happened? And then when Iron Man, like, then you have to think about the first Iron Man movie. Like, oh my god, a guy in an iron suit showed up. This is magical. It's like, remember the squid monster
the
in
black
LA?
squid monster.
Like, does that not bother anybody anymore? Yeah,
They're all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a super soldier fighting a guy with a red skull for a face and then a black squid monster. But loot, this guy in an iron suit, that's crazy.
Ooh, does he fly too? Ooh, golly. Like, what? Like, the movie stuff, that's not a point to focus on in all of this that's happening.
Do you think it would have been cool? Because I think it would have been cool if Wilkes, same actor, essentially same function, but have him be the guy that created the Human Torch.
That'd be cool.
The original Android Human Torch.
That'd been really cool.
Wouldn't that have been cool?
Like a throwback, because by the time this is happening, the Human Torch was shown at the World's Fair in the movie.
Yes.
So like he could have been like, yeah,
Working
I worked on
on
this
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd have been really cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
A
I want to
fun
care about
throwback.
Wilkes. I like the actor. I like the guy. It just, I just everything.
He is not a bad actor.
It's boring.
He's boring. That's a problem with this show. Sometimes it
He's
gets
got
a
what
little
we call
boring.
J syndrome.
Yeah, Jason. Oh,
Somebody you really want to like, but is deadly boring.
Oh boy, we'll get to him soon. But what would you rate these 2 episodes? Put them together. Our finale is next week, by the way. Ooh, you got to think about it. Yeah.
You go first.
Okay, I'll give it it's definitely in the 8s.
Yeah.
It's in the 8s. But if you put both these together, there is a lot
It's
of
a
really
solid in the
cool
8s.
things.
Yeah.
Great acting. Still, it's not weak parts. They're just parts that didn't get my attention.
Yes.
Isn't that a weird thing?
Yeah.
They're boring, but they're not interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments, go ahead and figure that out for me. Write your ratings. Give us a number rating 1 to 10, 10 being the best, and we can go ahead and move on to the Flash. But,
I'd say an 8 if you do both.
If you do
probably
8?
The first one probably 7.5. Second one's probably an 8.
8, yeah, right? Yeah, is a better episode. And then the finale, I feel like we're going to get something cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna get something cool.
Hopefully.
I
Yeah.
hope, and if we got another season, I would be happy. I wouldn't be upset if we got another season.
Let me put it to you this way. I want more Agent Carter.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if I need more of this show, but that character, I want more Agent Carter.
Yeah.
More Peggy Carter.
And like, does she do a vlog series or something like where you just get her?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Little radio shows with her. Yeah.
I
set
would
the
love
time
that.
period.
Can
Yeah.
I just have Peggy, Haley Atwell's so perfect. She
Yeah.
just, I want to give her a hug.
Yeah.
That's. Go ahead and tweet at. She doesn't have a Twitter anymore. Trust
More
me, I've
Twitter,
looked.
but they were doing that fun Instagram game. Her and the.
They did, but
Yeah.
then she deleted everything for some reason, and maybe she got in trouble. Someone gave it a 0.
So,
Randall
wow.
XL. That was a
Yeah.
little mean. That
A
was
lot of
little
8s, a lot of 7.9s, a lot of people on the same boat.
Nah, there you go. All right.
Okay.
We're going on to The Flash, all right? Barry is Zoom. Spoilers, we're done. We're going on to Arrow now,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right? Go ahead and go right by. All right, this episode of The Flash, King Shark returns with
Yes.
Diggle. Diggle and King Shark are taking on Central City. It was amazing.
Did Diggle and Layla need to be in this episode?
No, they didn't. Not
They
even
didn't
a
really-
little.
They didn't really serve a purpose.
No, they did not.
Except for maybe
being cool.
Barry, you're pulling on Oliver and taking on a little too much guilt, that was cool.
Yeah, even though this time, I mean, Oliver like takes on the guilt, but you're like, all right, Oliver, you're being a little bit of a drama queen. But this time, Barry was like, you went over and you kind of took over your doppelganger's life, and you ruined it.
Yeah.
You killed your father-in-law. You didn't, but you did.
You did.
You did, and
Yeah.
like, you can feel guilty. It's
Right,
okay.
yeah.
And tell Caitlin about being Killer Frost. Like, oh, maybe she'll turn into him. That's not how it works.
Yeah, did you? I wish I feel like they could have been a little more nuanced in that. Like, don't tell them, because it's the same thing about like finding about their future. I'm not sure it is though.
This is alternate universes, guys. This is solid science.
I think I think maybe they could have just done it with like, don't tell them. Like, why not? Would you want to know that you're dead or evil in an alternate universe? Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
Did you need to know that like your reverb, like besides Cisco finding out about reverb and like that he has other powers? Cool.
Like if I went to another universe and found out that you were dead or evil, I'd probably keep that information to myself, because why would I do that to you?
Yeah, I if I really, really needed to know, I would find a way to like, hey man, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Be
But that's
straight
the point.
with
Is
me.
I don't know if you need the narrative contraption of like, it'll fuck up the universe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
But the highlight of this episode, King Shark, looked fantastic.
he looked really good.
Right
It always
throughout.
surprises me.
Yeah, and he ripped open the ceiling. That part was so cool.
Yeah, it's like, this is a CW show.
Yeah,
Like,
how
where
did
does
he-
the money come from?
Also, where did he sneak up from? Why didn't you not hear, or nobody was
Neighbors
like,
are like calling, like,
Yeah.
there's a giant
There's
shark running around.
Hold on. There's a 10-foot walking, talking shark that's
Yeah.
just in the middle. Also, I looked this up. Like, they tried to kind of come up with a backstory for King Shark, but in the comics, it's just there's King Shark.
Yeah,
like that's
he
it.
just
He just exists. Like he's like there's one where he's like kind of like a god of the sea or something like that. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But in this, they're like, yeah, he had cancer, but the cancer turned him into a shark. You know, those classic scenarios with the cancer sharks. You know, that always
because
happens.
when the particle accelerator exploded, magic.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
But his fights were really cool. I would really like King Shark to come back. He's not dead.
You know what I want?
Yeah.
Suicide Squad off the table, clearly.
Yeah.
Secret Six isn't. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see a Secret Six. King Shark could definitely, if it was a regular thing, could not be a part of it.
No.
Catman, Ragdoll. No, nobody. Okay.
Yeah. You know everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Do you
No,
remember?
It would be cool if you thought Secret Six. It's amazing. Secret Six by Gail Simone. It's amazing, and I'd like to see them. And I don't think other than Deadshot is on that team. It wouldn't step on any Suicide Squad toes.
From Ham Square, I couldn't read your last name. I wonder how much money they spent for those graphics of King Shark. True, because if you guys paid attention real close, Barry, I've made this joke already like 10 times in this office, so I'm going to say it again. But he did not look very good when they're like, he's running around the funnel that he's creating. He's like, he's going to electrify it. It was like, oh, yeah, obviously, that's what he was going to do. Who the fuck thought that through? But he looks like a mannequin in a suit, like, running awkwardly, and then grabs the lightning again, which is like...
It's just a weird graphic, because
Why
they're
are
trying
you
to pull like a
grabbing?
Zeus thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, that, I don't know, just curving in a ball, something that looks more natural,
Yeah,
as opposed to suddenly lightning is just a static thing in your hand.
Yeah, like you brought up Last Airbender. Just do a little lightning bending.
Yeah.
Do a little.
No, you brought you brought
just
that
do a
up.
little thing.
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah.
Like do a wave.
Yeah.
Throw it back at him. That was a lot of fun.
I did notice that. I was hoping when his running didn't bother me much. What bothered me about that scene is when they asked like, "What is he doing?" He's like electrifying water. I wanted him to be like, "Oh, running in a circle." How does he stop most of his bad guys? He runs in a circle around them.
Yeah.
It fixes the problem.
And sometimes faster.
It's
and
funny though
slower.
because this week it was a pretty cool Supergirl. They were dealing with Master Jailer, and there was a fight scene that swung wildly between being kind of lame to being really cool, and it shows you the difficulties because Arrow is pretty solid because it's mostly practical stunt fighting because he's a street level vigilante. Flash pulls a Smallville where he just runs real fast into people or runs in circles around them, so you don't really. There's not fights going on. Yeah. Supergirl's in this awkward middle phase where it's like fighting, but there's superpowers. So it's one of those like, I don't know if Flash could do something better. I don't know if there is a better option for Flash when it comes to fighting.
It's a little rough because that's what his power is: run fast.
Run fast.
He can do other things, but at the end of the base is running fast.
Which is why the most dynamic action sequences are when he's fighting another fast person.
Yeah.
Which
and
Trajectory
so
next
fun.
week. Or
Trajectory.
not next week, a month from now.
In a month, yeah. Trajectory from the comics is a Lex Luthor created speedster.
Ooh.
So that's really fun. And she is part of, she isn't a villain. She is just a speedster that he created. He created a bunch of superheroes, but then killed her off. So so again, they will come up with some reason to explain Trajectory.
Do you think she'll be an artificial speedster?
It should be really cool.
Yeah,
it should be really cool. But Lady Speedster is really fun. What else happened in this episode? Wally and before we get to the big thing, Wally and Barry, their weird fucking dynamic of hating each other.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. It makes sense because they're both filling the same role of the son of Joe West. But they're going to have to figure, because that dynamic is important, the Barry-Wally dynamic, so they're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
I still really like Wally. I feel like he brings out, especially when he's interacting with Joe and Iris, he brings out the best there. I'm really excited to see what they do with him. I really want to see him as Kid Flash.
His acting is a little, it's not that I dislike it. It's kind of how he just talks. It's not he's still selling it what he's feeling. It's just the way he delivers them is a weird thing for me to hear. But I want to see him and Barry, I want to see that explode. I want to see that and then them resolve it. I want to see them kind of do that when they come back.
Yeah.
I would like that. I like how he dealt with King Shark. He's he ran away and head upstairs and you guys are just fine with it.
Yeah.
It's well, it happens all the time. The King Shark type things happen all the time. But then he ditched them while they were cleaning up the house. So Wally wasn't much better than how we thought Barry was.
You're kind of being a dick, bro. One thing I did really like also was Cisco and Caitlin.
Yeah.
And their interaction, and Cisco being worried that she's going to be Killer Frost, and they've got a really good dynamic.
Caitlin was good this episode because she was she's grieving, which is okay for her to be a little harsh with people. Yeah. Also, King Shark Lady wasn't really the nicest person to deal with either, so I think she's okay. Yeah. I think she's in the good.
She's going to become Queen Shark.
Ooh.
She's going to become Killer Whale. That's another actual character from the comics.
Really? It's a giant whale?
Orca. I'm sorry. She goes by Orca.
There you go.
But it's basically
totally different.
King Shark, but Killer Whale.
Constantine's in Hell. We'll get to that in a second. That was a great line for this week. But okay, so big thing, question of the day. What are our thoughts and feelings on the identity of Zoom? Honestly, I was when he says it's complicated,
too complicated.
It really complicates things. I got a tweet here from Jamie Cook at JMC Do Re Mi. Turns out Zoom is the most boring person he could be. Kinda, yeah. My theory, if I may,
Sam's theory corner
is that Zoom showed up on Earth 2 a while ago from another universe.
So we're talking about with an Earth 3?
Earth 3. And the Man in the Iron Mask is from another universe. Different. So here we go. Look, we got main one where Flash is Barry Allen. You got Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth 4. Earth 4 is where Zoom is from, okay? Then he goes and he figures out.
Kids?
Yeah, okay. And then he goes to Earth 3. That's where he gets Man in the Iron Mask, who is Jay Garrick. And and Zoom is Jay Garrick. He's I can go get my own Jay Garrick because I get a bunch of Jay Garricks. Then he goes to Earth 2, steals his speed or whatever when they didn't really stuck with that story, did they? And then now he's got another Jay Garrick. And now he's went over to Earth 1. He's the Jay Garrick isn't a Flash over here. I'll go ahead and get Barry. There you go. I don't know.
Well, apparently, one of the showrunners was interviewed by Variety and specifically said that the Jay we've known since the beginning of the season is Zoom. What
the fuck does that mean, though? That doesn't clear things up at all.
I don't know. I am kind of hoping that the Jay that he killed is a clone, that he's cloning himself, trying to make a better Zoom. What if when he steals the Speed Force from somebody, he looks like them now?
Somebody tweeted me a fun one that was that when Jay was got the Speed Force, whatever, it split him. kind of like Black Kryptonite in Smallville.
No, if you've been keeping up with that show.
If you guys have been keeping up, it's really heating up in season 9 where I'm at. But
you should be doing like tweets.
I should be. Every episode.
You should be streaming it when you watch it. They can watch it with you.
You're gonna watch me just die as a human. But in that, like there's an evil version of a person and there's a good version of a person. So that
they did
could
that
be
in the comics
it.
a little bit too.
Yeah.
I thought they did some fun stuff with Black Kryptonite. I think
It is an original from Smallville, the TV
they
show.
did a lot of stuff with Kryptonite. Why? Anyway,
what is your theory?
I told you my theories. The thing I hope that it is. This is under the assumption that the man in the iron mask is Jay. I'm now going to start hope. Because if he's not the man in the iron mask, then where the hell is Jay?
I don't know. I don't
know.
There's when they explain it, we're all gonna be like, we better be satisfied. We better be.
I think it's gonna be a little bit like the William plot line in Arrow. That once they explain it, you're like, wow, I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah. I got a tweet here from Hector Romero. Para, Zoom has gotten so boring. I'm more invested in the man in the iron mask than our main antagonist. I kind of am too.
Yeah.
And it was I was kind of an out of nowhere reveal. Kind of glad it's out of the way.
It would have fit more, I guess, because the show's going on hiatus this week, and also if they revealed it last week, all of Caitlin's mourning would have felt like bullshit. But I already felt like bullshit anyway because I already knew Jay's not gone.
Yeah,
that's not how Jay Garrick dies.
He's kind of dead. He looked pretty dead. I mean, why would he bring him back? But that's not
Jay Garrick.
It's not. I don't know. No. I don't have an answer. Do you guys write some in the comments really quick? What would you rate this episode? I'd give it it was a pretty solid episode all through and through. I don't think I have any complaints. I'd give it 8.9.
I'd give it an 8.
Yeah, right? Like,
it's fine.
Was there any complaints or was it just like not?
I need to rework my. It just felt a little clunky to me. Mm-hmm. Like the Diggles were there, and I didn't really. It didn't really feel like they needed to be there.
King Shark is scary. He was eating people.
I'm glad that he had him talk and stuff. I thought that was cool. Don't worry, there's a rated R version of this episode that's going to be released on DVD where there's.
I wish like he bites him and like it's like a gusher and
entrails in his mouth. And,
yeah.
I get it. I feel like I need to start rethinking how I rate things because it's like. Yeah, an 8. I don't know. It all falls between like a 7.5 and like an 8 and like a 9.
There have been times when things have been like a 6. Like
the Flash episode, that first Earth 1 episode, I gave it like a lower one just because of not because the episode was bad, but just because Barry's behavior was really inconsistent.
Yeah, you were disappointed.
I was
Barry, bad Barry.
8. I'll say 8.
Oh, we get some 9 6s, 9 7s. I'm sorry, Sam, for ruining Zoom. Oh, it's you.
It was your
By
fault.
the way, here's an announcement. If you tweet us spoilers, also Snapchat, also all social media, I'm gonna start blocking you. Sorry, I don't mean to put you on blast, but I'm gonna. But you sent me the Snapchat video of the reveal, which I stopped watching before it happened. But then you wrote after wait, don't watch that. I was like, what? The picture came first. I can't stop myself from not looking at it. But you're fine. We're
on the West Coast.
Yeah, we're on the West Coast.
If you're on the East Coast, there's a 3-hour difference.
Yeah, don't worry.
And by the way, we've been getting some people who are like, oh, the episodes haven't aired in London or in the UK. Then don't watch the review show.
Wait
till it comes out. It'll still be good. We'll still be here.
Yeah, don't worry.
It'll still be
Our
entertaining.
opinions won't change.
Yeah.
We won't read your comments.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm also doing a kind of piss poor job doing that right now. But hey, let's move on to Arrow. Huh?
Arrow, hey!
Hey!
This I guess this had a similar thing with Flash where there's like a lot of cool things and a lot of like
Then we had William storyline. Felicity
William.
Everyone found out about William. Damien Dark. Vixen.
Yeah.
Vixen was a big highlight for me. I really liked Vixen.
You watched the animated shorts, right? I meant to watch it before this week, but it was just too hectic. You said it was good, right?
It was good. You got a lot of they went to Africa. Queen Bee was involved, which was really cool. Yeah.
That's total. I should have watched it.
Yeah, they talked about the totem and how Queen Bee was involved with it, and she does mention characters from it. It's cool that they mentioned Barry, and I forgot that Laurel was on the show because when Laurel and Vixen have a weird thing when they talk to each other, I was like, oh yeah, they did meet before. Because then I was like, wait, why do they know? Why did Mari and them know? I will say that when the animals appeared, they were about 50-50 of kind of being cool or they're like, that animal loop better stop.
I guess I'm more used to good to wonky CGI on like Flash and Supergirl. When it showed up in Arrow, I was like,
Yeah,
I don't expect this on this show. It was fun. Mostly the actress
it was
did
cool.
good. She was cool.
and the idea is cool.
The idea is really cool, and I'm glad that they. One thing I really like about these shows, whether they're always able to pull it off or not, they go for it.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I saw a thing when I was looking up for assets for today, like a King Shark from one of those the straight to DVD cartoons that was in the Arkhamverse. He's just a guy with he's basically Jaws from James Bond. He's not like a shark person. I'm glad on these shows that when they do it, like that's a good out, but they're like, no, fuck it, he's gonna be a shark man. Like you know what I mean? If we're gonna have Vixen, she's gonna have the totem and summoning animals and all that shit. Like that's happening.
Everything.
Yeah.
Why not?
But she was really good, and also they treated her like a legit like the two major arguments were presented to Oliver about what to do about his son, and one of them was Mari's, and that's the one he went with. Like that's the importance they gave her in this episode, and that was really cool. That it was almost like Barry or Constantine showing up from their own show. That was the importance she was given, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. I also like the Constantine joke where it's like, where's Constantine? And he's like, oh, he's in hell. And he's like, oh, he's really like doing some tough stuff. He's like, no, he's in hell.
He's literally in hell.
He's in hell. So also, why do you know? Like, oh, I'm going into hell. If you need any magic things, I'm going to be...
My mail's being forwarded to hell, by the way. Also, shouldn't you clarify that? Like maybe he's dead in hell?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's in hell. Like I mean, that's just fun. You know, Constantine's just in hell.
Yeah.
Like he's like hanging out. Overall, like I mean, I like... hopefully the William doesn't come back. I'm fine if he never does.
I think
or
this
the
confirms
mom.
that William's not in the grave because they're going off to the secret place. The one thing that was really effective was the tape Oliver did towards William. Stephen Amell did a really good job in that scene.
It was.
And good Lord, the actress Emily Brett Rickards, who plays Felicity, right? She did her best to sell the hell out of Felicity's emotions, out of a ridiculous...
It was ridiculous.
They were trying really hard to make Oliver not an asshole, and I think they should have just... Listen, Oliver's bad at keeping secrets, and this year he decided, hey, I'm going to be better about that. It's hard to flip a switch. It would have made sense that presented with, oh, I have a kid. This is the one secret I'm going to keep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the one, him kind of being an asshole as opposed to like, I'm going to give you this crazy ultimatum that she can't enforce. The baby, like, I understand the position she put you in, Oliver. She couldn't enforce that. You could have easily told Felicity.
Yeah, and like even like the mom said it was a ridiculous thing, and that also, hold on. The worst was Felicity learning to walk again and then just walking out of his life. Just like, well, I better not stop, right? What if it stops working? So get out into the hallway at the very least.
That really bothered you. That didn't bother me.
It bothered me a lot because it was like, you can walk again. And that plot line's gone. No more wheelchair. All the wheelchair ramps you built are kind of pointless now. And I don't know.
She's probably still going to go through physical therapy. I like that scene where she was in physical therapy with Holt's
husband.
Husband,
yeah,
they're
because
married.
they're married.
Yeah. What do you think they're going to do with Dark now? Like, is he done?
Oh yeah, Vixen destroyed the little amulet, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, totem.
The
there
weird skull head toy that looked like
thing,
they bought a lot of stuff from Michaels and threw together.
They did tease in another episode that like Hive might be like turning against him now that like he doesn't have his powers, he's been captured, like a lot of things. Like he obviously kidnapped William and he has ties to the mayoral candidate. So
yeah.
And is the mayor thing completely done now? Like,
I hope not. I really like that subplot. I'm hoping that once Rouvet is revealed to, which by the way, is she from the comics? Nobody has a name like Rouvet as a last name and is not from a comic book. Once they reveal that she's evil and with Dark, like can't Oliver be like, oh, whoops, let me back in.
Yeah. At least give it one more go. Give it a good college try.
I'd like to see a season of Oliver's Mayor.
I would too, right?
Wouldn't that be cool?
At least give it half a season.
That goes back to in season 2 when Brother Blood was running for mayor, and at last episode they killed him off, and I was like, I'd actually love to see a supervillain be a mayor.
Right?
Wouldn't that be great?
And Brother Blood was interesting.
Brother Blood was really interesting. They did a lot of really cool things in the second season.
Yeah, really quick, fun tweet from Noah Domroas. Definitely didn't say that right. Is it just me, or did they reuse the Grodd model for the CG Vixen gorilla?
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably. Yeah, it looked a little different.
That's a good way to save money.
Yeah, and then they had a wolf, they had a bird. Flying Vixen was super duper cool, and I would like Vixen to come back. Like if they did one like Justice League type episode, like you get Constantine in there, you get Vixen, you get your Hawks, you get all the legends.
Yeah,
like,
I would love to see
really
them
cool.
do a B team Justice League with Arrow and Flash and Vixen and Atom. And
How cool is that?
That would be so cool.
What would you rate this episode?
I feel like, again, this is why I need to I need to create a solid rating system in my brain, because I'd also give this an 8, even though overall I think it was wonkier.
I would give Vixen herself an 8. Also, I like the animated adventure. We were on
an animated adventure. That was a fun thing. I think
you could see him like die inside.
The Flash episode was more consistent. I thought the highs were higher this episode, but the lows were also lower.
Yeah.
So I'd give it an 8 probably.
Give it an 8. I give it like a 7.5. 7.5. It's like wasn't bad. Yeah, go ahead and give us some of your ratings on the screen.
We got an 8.
Oh.
Somebody said this episode absolutely sucked. 8.5.
Charlie Clifton Brown, there's a comment that just went by. Scroll down a little bit. A little more. Where is it? Oh, there. I love how Malcolm was like to Thea, hey, I've been through some shit. You don't get to bitch at me. Yeah.
Malcolm, I like the fact that they seem to be like, he's going on a full-on villain.
Yeah,
petty.
crazy. Yeah.
I like the fact that he's petty.
He's petty.
Yeah.
Super duper petty.
I like that. I like that because it's relatable. It's it's not like, I'm an evil villain. It's one of the things that made Kilgrave really work is because he had a lot of he was human. He didn't do a lot of his evil shit because of some grand plan. He just did it because he was a bitch.
Yeah, right?
I like that.
He was bad. He's just
a bad person.
Yeah,
Malcolm Merlin is just a bad person.
Yeah, and but he's also done things for Oliver. They've done things, regardless of Malcolm doing them for selfish reasons, he still did good things on being objective.
Yeah, these shows do a good job of having the relationship between the heroes and villains be very fraught, be not just completely antagonistic. Like there's a lot of give and take there. That's cool.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the last show. Legends of Tomorrow is a pretty fun episode.
Going into this week, this is the show I was most excited to see.
And
sort of delivered.
Yeah, sort of delivered. It wasn't disappointing. I wouldn't say
it was a little disappointing
for you. Okay, it wasn't disappointing to me. It just wasn't. It wasn't too exciting.
Yeah.
The past couple episodes have been we had a different firestorm last week and everything, but this week we had an armless Oliver in Star City 2046.
I was actually really surprised how well Oliver looked. I was I think the makeup was good. I think the lighting was even better. Selling the makeup,
it made it look a little bit better.
It was funny. I was reading a review that was like he didn't really carry himself like an old man. It's like it's kind of like when you see Batman as an old man, you want to see him as no, he's still Batman. You know what I mean? You don't
he's
stop,
broken.
You don't stop seeing Green Arrow. He's still I'd like to imagine that when he's 60, he's still he's got that. The beard was so cool. He's a dead ringer. He was based obviously on the Dark Knight Green Arrow, which I can probably find.
We got an image for that. You
in here, but we've got an image.
Yeah.
But he also the whole goatee thing was brought in by Mike Grell, who created a character called Warlord, who showed up in one episode in Justice League Unlimited. And so with the white beard, which is what Warlord had, he was a dead ringer for Warlord from the comics. It was so cool.
That's cool. I enjoyed this episode. I liked everything with Connor Hawke. Being John Diggle's son was a fun twist.
It was a fun twist.
Yeah, but you brought this up. It was why change your name to Connor Hawke?
They didn't give no reason. I decided my name was Connor Hawke because I thought John Diggle's name was lame.
What if they're like, why'd you name me that? It's like, I found it in a comic book. And it was like, that's that.
That would have been fun.
Everyone would be like, but it wouldn't matter.
Can I pitch you what I think would have made this episode awesome?
Yes.
All right. For one, you ditch most of the team. Have it be because we have all the team doing stuff every episode. Listen, have Sarah get separated trying to help Connor Hawke, and basically follow Sarah through Star City. Maybe do the subplot.
You want Sarah forever.
Sarah's my favorite, but the second best plot line was Mick and Snart. Because Mick is great. Maybe have Rip be with them because it was a little weird. Snart really throwing his hat in with the Angels was a little weird. So maybe have Rip be no, we still need to do this, and Snart sides with him, and that's what sets the season. Mick's no, this isn't about stealing shit anymore. You're whatever. So you put them over there because that was a fun plot line where he gets in with the bad guys. But most of the episode is in because that's what I want to see. Star City 2049. I want to see that world. I like there was a little Mad Maxie. Have it be Connor Hawke and he's working with Oliver, and then finally Oliver's I need to admit something to you, Connor. Your mom, once your dad died, your mom changed her name and your name to keep you guys safe. Your real last name is Diggle. And then we would have been oh. So it's not John Diggle Jr., it's Connor Diggle, but mom changed his name to Hawk, and you're oh wow, as opposed to almost a throw off hey, John. Oh, he's because I was like, I thought he was Connor.
Yeah.
I go by Connor Hawk. Oh, he's John Diggle. What's happening right now?
It's not like my name's Sam Basher, but I go by DJ Woldridge. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you do that? Like, it doesn't
what's
make
happening?
sense. Yeah.
And spend a little more time. I wanted to see more of that world. It felt Mad Maxy. I would have liked his costume. It was different. It's more armory, but maybe more in line with Batman Beyond. Maybe a little sleeker. Maybe a
C1
little
and sleeker.
neon.
I enjoyed it.
At least for that. Not the rest of the world, but maybe for that costume.
That would be cool. Grant Wilson, our Deathstroke 2.0.
2.0.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I like the mask. I like everything. I like the character. The actor was great.
Yeah, he's definitely sold crazy. I definitely, with the few scenes he was in, like, this motherfucker's crazy.
Yeah, super crazy.
And it was cool to pull up one of all the kids Slade has, and he has several, pulling him from obscurity.
He's Ravager?
He was the first Ravager. The
Yeah.
second Ravager was Rose Wilson, who's Slade's daughter. I'd actually like to see them bring Rose and Jericho, who was a son to another season of Arrow,
That'd be
as
cool.
villains, because we're probably not going to get Manu Bennett back.
Oh, no. He's done. He
Yeah.
seemed pretty done with CW.
But
right
that was
now.
cool. Seeing Oliver back in action was cool. I wanted less the fucking love triangle subplot on the
Yeah.
ship. I could have completely done without.
Like you pointed out when we were talking off screen, but it was that this is a save money episode a little bit. Like at
Yeah.
least that story was. The best part about it was the psychic link between Jax and Stein, because that was super cute. He's like, why am I defensive right now? He's like,
Yeah.
why am I anxious right now? And
That
like,
was really cool.
Like you can't keep secrets from each other. That was really fun. Like Ray and Kendra, like I don't care at all. But Ray and Jax
at the end was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. It was almost worth that whole subplot just for their little interaction thing. Because it's in moments like that you realize like you haven't seen each member of the cast interact with each other yet.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
This show, I think that's going to be the most fun part of this entire show. Besides, like where we're going in time and everything, you're going to see how these characters get to interact with each other because they can. And I like having a solitary, like cold and heat wave, like moment where like Mick is like not okay with they're friends.
Yeah.
They are co-workers. That's not the right
I mean,
word.
Sarge is probably the closest thing Mick would consider to a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they still don't get along.
Yeah, Mick is actually probably closer to Ray right now than he is to. I like their little thing. I like that bromance. I want them to do more with the Ray Mick thing because they're so. Anybody on the team, they're the most polar opposite.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
The other thing I'd like to see them do is have better time rules. Like I think a better arc for Rip this episode would have been if he was like, you know what, we might not make it back. So every future we land in, we do need to help Connor and Oliver because we might not make it back. Like finding out that the reason the future's in flux is because Rip went back. When he went back and picked up that team, everything from that point on became in flux. And so this whole future in flux thing is his fault. That'd be more compelling than whatever the hell is actually happening.
A little bit. I did like the switch between last episode where Sarah was tasked with killing Stein, and now they were going to abandon Sarah in this time, and then Stein like stood up for her and like tried to save her, and like it's like look at them, they're switching. Get it? I did like the tease with the Star Labs made his first robotic arm for Oliver, but then a Smoke had one like hidden away for him to use that fit perfectly with his body and brain and everything.
That a different one? Because what she found at Smoke Labs was the arrow, was the bow.
Oh, maybe I'm just an idiot. Why was that there?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That was a confusing part.
I would love them to ditch the flashbacks after, because they've been doing. He was on the island 5 years. Next year's going to be the 5th year. When they're done with that, do flash forwards to 2046.
That'd be
Star
fun.
City.
Or just see what happens. Like go like forward. Like maybe some Justice League teases or something. But this episode overall was kind of okay.
Yeah.
What would you rate it? I'd give it a 7.7.
I'd give it 7.5. Just again because I think my expectations kind of work against it maybe. Another cool thing though, this goes back to our Iron Fist conversation, casting Connor Hawk, having him not be Oliver's son and letting him be Diggle's son, letting him be black, because now if you're a Black Green Arrow fan, you have a Green Arrow that you can imagine being. You know what I mean? That's why the importance in diversity in superhero comics is no matter who you are, you want to be able to see yourself in these heroes and imagine yourself as a superhero. So now, like if you're a Green Arrow fan and you're a black kid, you've got Connor Hawk. Like that's cool, you know?
Yeah, I would have liked that too. I guess I don't know. This episode was a little not what I expected it to be.
I think maybe instead of a 2-parter in the 80s or the 70s, actually I like the 2-parter in the 80s. Maybe the 70s could have been one episode, and we spent 2 episodes in 2046 and let that really breathe. Because isn't that isn't that the fun of time travel? Seeing like old Oliver and shit and seeing the future. Isn't that why?
Most people in time travel want to go forward. I mean, it's fun to go in the past.
It was fun seeing young Stein.
Yeah.
But like,
right? Yeah.
old Oliver, like that's cool. I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I got one quick tweet from Alchemic Wolf at Alchemic Wolf. I'm so glad the love triangle stuff got shut down quick. It would have been annoying, but it will come back in some other way, just not with those 3 people. Right? Like, they have to.
Because Kendra's available now, so somebody's got to want to fuck her on that ship.
Right. Quick thing, timeline, based on not where they're jumping in time, just of how long they've been together. Carter died roughly a day ago. Maybe give him a few days.
I would say if it goes to the same...
Oh, it's been a few days.
It's been a few days. Yeah, it's probably not the same because most of our other CW shows are very definitely like a week. Like they take place over a week of time.
These are not. This is an adventure.
Yeah, so it's
like
probably maybe I'd say about a week.
Yeah, like Jax, Ray, you need to
calm down.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but you only knew him for like a few months, right? Even though they're supposed to be 4,000-year-old soulmates and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's been a few months.
Listen, Sam. 3 months ago.
She was a barista. She almost said it. She almost said it again.
A
normal girl. Oh, you can't say barista
again.
They
need to find something to do with her.
Just
fast.
Really fast. Bring back the red eye thing that they had for one episode.
No, don't do that because it's the same thing as Sarah's bloodlust.
I like it. Yay. All right. That's it for TV reviews. Let's get some poll lists from DJ. I'm just going to say you should be reading Injustice because it's a lot of fun.
Sam's poll list.
Injustice.
So next week, the stuff you should check out. I've been hearing really, really good things about DC's Bombshells, which sounds ridiculous because it's a bunch of the female DC heroes done as pinups, as statues, and now made a comic out of them. But apparently it's really great. And they're coming out with a new comic, so let's all check that out. Bombshells number 10, Omega Men number 9, and I've been praising this series for a while, and it's getting towards its end game. We're finally getting a fuller scope. Understanding the full scope of what's going on and what they want, what the Omega Men want out of Kyle Rayner. Over in the indie world, just the Sheriff of Babylon. I always want to call it the last Sheriff of Babylon. No, Sheriff of Babylon, which is just a gritty war story. If you like Homeland, if you like Hurt Locker, if you like procedurals, I recommend checking it out. That's issue number 4. Now, over in the world of Marvel Comics, we've got the next step in the next Marvel event, Avengers Standoff Assault on Pleasant Hill Alpha number 1.
It's a little lame. It's a little wordy.
It's a little wordy, but if you want to know what's going on the next Marvel event, which is being dubbed Civil War 2, it's capitalized on the new movie. Which they basically they find a kid that's able to see the future, so it's a Minority Report thing. So you got heroes that are like, we could stop the bad guys ahead of time, and then you got another contingent that's like, no, that's due process. So Civil War 2. Even more exciting for me is the creative team behind that amazing run on Daredevil from last year. Mark Waid and Chris Samney are doing Black Widow number 1. The new Black Widow series. Black Widow is consistently one of the better parts of the MCU. And so now they're trying to make her comics live up to that. And so that should be a lot of fun, and I highly recommend checking that out just off of the Daredevil run, which is boss. It's so good. Mark Waid's run on Daredevil, if you're excited about the new season, definitely check that out.
Very cool, guys. And that's it for our review of all the TV shows out this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. DJ, where can they find you on social media?
At DJ Talks Trash on both Twitter and Instagram.
Very cool. I'm at Sam Basher, SAMBASHOR on Twitter, Instagram. You can find my YouTube channel. I do a bunch of little shit things over there. Make sure you guys subscribe to SourceFedNERD for daily news videos, fun gaming videos, some 101s on superhero stuff, all around nerdy stuff, and this show, which is Fridays, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can also listen to this on iTunes and SoundCloud. Just look for Superhero Roundup Live, and you can listen to it there. Hope you guys come back next week. We'll be talking about the finale of Agent Carter.
Yes.
What else?
And we might do Legends of Mars is still going on, and we might since Flash and Arrow are going on hiatus.
Bam.
We might jump back and check in on
Supergirl, and we do have another slot. So
we'll see.
Maybe
we'll see. Tweet us what you'd like us to see.
There you go. We'll also do a poll. We'll do a poll on Monday so you guys can vote, because there might be room for
don't
for the L word.
We'll just see.
There might be room for the L word.
We'll just see.
Just saying. We'll just see. We'll just see. There's no promises.
Yeah.
There's no promises.
There's no promises.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye. And Legends of Tomorrow might have revealed that Diggle's not in the grave.
There you go.